I threw a trash can off of a roof in middle school and hit somebody. When I was in middle school, me and my friends thought it would be funny to get on top of the school roof at a school football game and throw a trash can off it. When everyone was leaving, I took the trash can and dropped on some guy. I remember his look when he saw us. It never came back up after that. Me and my friends would never speak of it till this day. I stole a portable speaker from a frat house when I was in college. This was back in college and I was just going through a phase where I get a little klepto when I drink. It's not even that bad. Took little things no one would really miss, like coasters, a deck of cards, one face mask from someone's bathroom, and all that jazz. There was this one time I was cross-faded at a frat house and went to the bathroom my friend, and we saw that there was a speaker sitting on the sink minding its own business, and I swiped it and made my friend put it in her coat because it's got pockets for some reason. My thought process was they're rich enough for a place, and honestly they probably won't even remember it was there. After that we all went back to my friend's apartment and she just put it down on a table there and we all fell asleep. Next morning, I just dipped and left my friend a speaker and she asked me what to do with it. I really had plans on returning it because it's not my speaker and I don't really have a use for it, and it's really one of my higher value swipes, and it still eats at me to this day because I already graduated and never returned it. I'm pretty sure my friend still has it, but I don't wanna go down there right now to drop it off because there might be COVID in the area. I'll probably mail it back once I get my hands on it again. TLDR, I get a little klepto when I'm drunk. Swiped a portable speaker from a frat house bathroom. Might return it because I don't really have a use for it and feel bad. I stained the back of my math teacher's pants to prove he wore the same pair every day. In 7th grade, my math teacher wore gray pants every day and my friend and I wanted to prove that it was the same pair. His chair was blue, so we devised the plan of putting some blue paint in the chair, and it actually worked. We discovered that he had at least 2 pair of identical gray pants because we'd see the stain a day or two, then it would be gone, then a couple days later it's back. By the end of the next week I guess he has washed them because we never saw the stain again. This was that crap washable watercolor paint. I used to spit Lucies on my walls, got caught, blamed my friend, then got him permanently banned from my house. Back when I was in like 6th, I had this weird habit of spitting Lucies on my wall. Shit was gross. It would get all crusty and I would leave it on there for so long that it was like cemented on the walls. For some reason, my dad never noticed until the very next year, and he was pissed. I was like 13, you know, so I was scared as fuck of my dad. At first he thought that it was just me who spit on my walls, and it really wasn't. I owned up to it and said it was just me. Well, somehow he came up with the idea that my friend, let's call him Bob, spit on my walls with me and somehow forced me to do it. I tried to tell him that it was just me who was doing it, which it was, but he thought I was just covering up for Bob. So my stupid 13-year-old self went along with it and I told him it was Bob too. He got so pissed. He yelled at me and screamed at the top of his lungs, "That motherfucker will never step foot in my house again." So for the next 2 years Bob would try to come to my house and I had to make up some excuse to tell him why he couldn't come. I eventually moved to a different town, but to this day nobody knows the truth. My friend and I stole $100 worth from the school's canteen. One day in the 10th grade, our school had a sports carnival, so all the students and teachers were at the grass oval. A friend and I broke into the school canteen and stole a bunch of drinks and some snacks that we put in our backpacks. Maybe around $100 worth. Never stole before and got such an adrenaline rush from it. I stole the remainder of my mom's opioid pills and deeply regretted it afterwards. I had my wisdom teeth pulled the spring of my junior year in high school. This was right before the heavy regulation on opioids due to the American opioid crisis, so my orthodontist prescribed me hydrocodone to help bear with the pain post-surgery. I had an incredibly low tolerance as I had never consumed drugs before, and it was then that I discovered my hyper-addictive personality. I definitely don't condone it now, but then it felt amazing. I struggled with social anxiety, but all of that seemed gone when I was on the medication. For the first time, I loved going to school and didn't want to leave. It was a terribly unhealthy addiction that was forming. I started to near the end of my prescription and began to worry about how I would feel afterwards. I was genuinely still in some pain, but I also didn't want the fun to stop. I had remembered that my mom had her gallbladder removed and was given an opioid prescription she kept in her dresser. While she was at work, I searched her dresser and found the pills. When you're heavily medicated like that, you're not in your right mind. I eventually used the rest of them and had to face an ugly and horrible withdrawal. I had learned several things throughout that experience. 1. Never take medicine that isn't prescribed to you. 2. If you have an addictive personality, be very careful and talk with your doctor before starting any heavy medication. 3. The opioid crisis is a crisis for a reason. I read an article about how 60% of opioid addicts are those that had started off as a genuine prescription. They are not to be messed around with. Stay safe out there. I stole 100 Philippine pesos, CAD $2.50, from my mom's wallet when I was 12. Yeah, $2.50 isn't a lot of money, but where I used to live before I immigrated, it was a lot of money. My mom left her purse and wallet in the living room and I stole 100 pesos. The only reason my mom found out was because I bought in McDonald's with my sister. I offered to pay for both our orders and she wondered why I had so much money with me, and told my mom. I lied and said the neighbor gave me money. I believe she knew that I was lying, but she let it slide. I don't feel as remorseful about it as I did before. When we immigrated to Canada, I got a part-time job and my mom now owes me money to pay for rent, about $1,700, but I won't be asking her to pay for any of it. I still think about this from time to time because my mom is literally an angel and I regret being a little shit back then. I make it my goal sometimes to provide for her and my dad so that they would have their dream retirement. Stole in school. Yeah, the title gives it away. A friend of mine and me stole in our old Catholic private school. We thought it wouldn't hurt these kids, since the money is technically their parents', but we stole literally everything. While class afternoon care, we went to the toilet and went straight to the gym's changing room and stole money, earpods, and an iPhone 4s from the kids who had pee. We nearly got caught when the dude from the afternoon care smelled something fishy when we both came back from the changing room, but luckily I had my sport baggie with me and said I had forgotten it. The iPhone was a little bit over our head. I mean, we deleted it completely to default settings but didn't know what to do with it, so we gave it back at the school reception 2 weeks later and said we found it on top of a locker. Tears of joy, but the dude who we stole the iPhone 4s from had literally the next day back then, brand new iPhone 5. So we didn't feel too bad for him. Money-wise, we guessed in the span of around 3 weeks we stole €700.